Brendan, we'll just start with an injury update. How's everyone from the midweek game, and also Cameron Carter-Vickers? How's he?
Yeah, we'll assess Cam over the next couple of days. So yeah, he didn't pull his hamstring, but we just had an MRI scan on that just to make sure he's okay. So we'll just await the results of that.
Is there a chance he can play this weekend, or?
Well, if the scan shows nothing, then clearly.
Is playing at a pitch away at Kilmarnock, do you think twice about putting players in that might not be 100%, or?
We have to think clearly about the surface. If there's guys that have injuries, certain injuries, knees, whatever, ankles. So it is a consideration, but I won't overthink it either. It's a game that is a tough game for us. So we want to have the strongest squad available to try and win it.
In terms of the cup game at Rugby Park earlier in the season, have you been looking back at it this week? Do you know exactly what went wrong, and how do you make sure that doesn't happen again on Sunday?
You can't promise. You can certainly where the team is at now is in a far different place to where it was back then. I think it was probably a good time to play as with players coming in and the challenges that we would have had at the beginning of the season. But it's a different team now. The organisation, the structure of the team, the attitude of the team, everything is different. So it doesn't mean it's going to be an easy game. Derek has he's really put his team in a good place in the top six, hard to beat, and obviously we travel there knowing it's going to be a tough game. But certainly from our perspective, we look like we're in a different place.
Talk about that different place. Where are you at the moment with your confidence going into this really impressive win midweek, scoring lots of goals? You feel like you're starting to get more and more where you want to be?
Yeah, it's still a way off, but I think when you have the disruptions that we've had over the course of this early part of the season, then it's important to win. And I think the other night against Hibs we won really well. Like you say, scored goals, created opportunities, dominated the game against a good side. So we arrive into the game and mentally in a good place, physically in a good place, and very clear on how we're working.
Is that the attacking standard that you've set for this season now? Creating plenty of chances, scoring 4 goals against good opposition?
Well, it's what we set from the very beginning. They're just not robots. They don't. They want to do every game, and they'll try to do every game, but sometimes the opponent is tough to break down, or we can't finish. So, but our idea of the game is to always go out and be aggressive and be proactive in the game, and the players have shown that numerous times this season.
Oh, 2 goals midweek there, and Kilmarnock came on at the hour mark. How difficult a choice is it between those two when both are performing so well?
It's not difficult. We just pick the best team to play the game.
And when it comes to January, is that a position you're looking to give more competition to those two in?
It'll depend. Clearly, obviously, we're trying to anticipate over the last few months the guys that will go away to the Asian Cup. So clearly, if Dysan's away and Kyogo's away and O's away, then clearly we would have to do something in the market.
And I think it's going to be the third of 9 games in 30 days this Sunday. How challenging has this period been for you and your players?
Yeah, it has, but it's part of being a big club. You're going to get games, and I think for every club in this period as well, there's games compact, but with very little rest and recovery in between. Sorry. So, but we've known that, so the players have coped well with it, and we'll now look forward to our next game on Sunday and look to maintain the level.
And looking forward to Sunday, there's been a few reports this week about plastic pitches potentially being banned as early as the start of next season. Is that something you'd be in favour of going into a game at Rugby Park?
Well, it's a constant conversation. I think it's clear that every coach would want to play, I'm pretty sure, on a grass pitch. So I think the sooner that is the possibility up here, then the better it will be for everyone. I understand the economics of it all and what it will mean to some clubs, but I think there should be a certain level and a certain standard of which every team, if you're playing in the top flight, should have a grass pitch.
And you mentioned on midweek that you were looking for more from Mikey Johnson. I wonder as a manager how you strike that balance between putting an arm around him to try and tell him what you want from him and a bit of tough love to let him develop on his own.
Yeah, but that's always the That's always the challenge of a coach. You having to find many different ways to do it, but of course you're always best being honest also. So and Mikey knows that. The reason Mikey's still here now from the summer is because I rate him as a player. I could have easily put him out on loan in the summer, having not played so much, not featured so much last year, but I know his talent, and I want to try and do everything I possibly can to allow him to maximise that talent. He's made great strides in his training performance, just in terms of consistency, being available in regular training. He's made an impact coming off the bench. But I know how much he wants to play for Celtic and start for Celtic. So whenever you get those opportunities, I know he was disappointed himself the other night, but without forcing it, you hope that you can see the qualities that he has on a regular basis, because he's a very, very talented player, one of the very best to come out of the academy here in terms of talent, individual quality, 1v1 speed. He's got stronger as well. But he's not a baby anymore. He's 24, and if you want to play at a club like Celtic in the starting lineup regular, you have to have a robustness, you have to be mentally strong, and you have to be competitive and physically brave. So all these things are a part of being a player at Celtic, as well as the talent. But I'll always give every player the chance if I think they have that talent.
I see an example of the difficulty of playing for a club of this size. It's not just about talent, it's about the demand this club puts on you.
Yeah, it's the expectation. It's the difference at the very top clubs. The pressure is relentless. The expectation is there, and you have to prepare yourself. And that's why you always have to have special mention to those guys that can sustain it over long periods of time, like Callum. His hunger, has to be celebrated because of the length of time he's been here and how long he's been doing it and how hungry he is every single season, and then his availability for games. So he devotes himself to his profession, and not everyone can be like that, because it's hard, it's tough every single day. So, but yeah, that's what playing for a big club is about.
And we spoke to Greg Taylor earlier about his desire to be part of that 23-man squad for the Euros after Scotland realised who their group are. I wonder if his ambition and his desire to be in that squad, him and the rest of the players that could potentially play at Euros, is something you can harness domestically.
I don't think I need to. No, I think that players know that first and foremost, to play at Celtic, you have to play at the very highest level. And Greg himself knows he's got a coach in Steve who knows him inside out, knows him well, knows what he's capable of, and knows also what he'll bring to the squad, even if he isn't playing. So, but ultimately, it's being the very best that you can be here will always give you the greater possibility to do that.
Last one for me is, what kind of challenge you're expecting from Kilmarnock on Sunday? We've talked about the pitch, but in terms of the team itself, what kind of challenge do you see?
Yeah, I think Derek's, he gets the ball up early into the final third of the pitch. They then look to play when they're in there, get the ball wide, get crosses in. They get good physicality in the team, and they really load up the last line to get bodies in the box. So it's we have to defend well, and we pray for a little bit of rain that it will make the surface nice and greasy, and then hopefully we can see a half decent football game.